Welcome back to TMZ Live. The Epstein files will not stop haunting President Trump. No matter how much he says that he wants people to stop talking about it, it continues. It just persists on Capitol Hill and around the country. So is there a way that he could actually make this go away? We know that he last week urged Pam Bondi to release a portion of the grand jury testimony, which isn't really going to reveal anything.
It's not.
No. But perhaps there's a way he could. And there is someone who's got a suggestion for him, someone who is very connected to this case, as in he represented Jeffrey Epstein. That is famed attorney Alan Dershowitz. And he is joining us now to talk about the Epstein files and what the president could possibly do. Alan, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thanks for having me.
Alan, over the weekend, you said, and it sure made sense to me, that the key to this case is Ghislaine Maxwell, and that Congress should give her some form of use immunity to get her to talk, because you said she has all the secrets. My question to you is, what's in it for her to do that if all she gets is use immunity? What about cutting her a deal with the sentence she currently has?
Well, that should be done. The sentence she currently has is not a sentence that was really imposed on her. It was imposed on the dead Jeffrey Epstein. You don't get 20 years for being an assistant or a secretary, even if there were serious crimes. And she had nothing to do with any alleged trafficking. In any event, she should have her sentence commuted. She should be given total immunity, called before Congress, and she'll tell everything. She knows everything. She made all the reservations. When I had to fly down to represent him in front of the Palm Beach District Attorney's office or in front of the U.S. Attorney's office, she's the one who made the arrangements. She knows who was on his plane. She knows who was innocent. If there were any guilty people, she knows who they are. And if you gave her complete immunity and let her out of prison and made a deal with her, this would solve the problem forever. The real problem is that because Jeffrey Epstein is dead, there's no one to hold responsible except her. And so she has borne the brunt of his wrongdoing, even though she was not responsible anywhere near the degree to which he was.
Alan, you know that what we've heard from people, who are clamoring for this file to be released is that they want everyone who was involved in this, anyone who did something criminal and untoward, that they should be held responsible. So what you're suggesting, though, is that they let someone out of prison, the one person who was held accountable, and I hear your point about her sentence being too long, but she was held accountable, and now you're saying release her. I'm not sure how that's going to go over with the public.
No, I agree. It's a difficult decision to make, but she's already served a long period of time. Let me give you an example of what would be found in the file. There's a woman whose name was Sarah Ransom, and she filed an affidavit under oath subject to perjury in which she said that she had in her possession videotapes of Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Richard Branson, and others having sex with 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. She sent emails to that effect to Maureen Callahan of the New York Post. Everybody checked it out. The story didn't check out. It wasn't true. And so she ultimately admitted to the New Yorker that she had committed perjury, essentially, that she had lied, that she had made false statements. That got people in trouble. Right now, only her accusations are in public, but the information that shows that she made up the story has been sealed. Indeed, her own affidavit has been sealed. People don't even know that she filed a perjurious affidavit. So I'm in favor of having everything out there. And we're not going to get the whole story unless Ghislaine Maxwell is prepared to testify as to the whole story. And so you got to bite the bullet and you got to say, look, if we really want the whole story out, she served a long prison term already. Let her out of prison, give her total immunity, and she'll have no reason not to testify as to everything. And if there are, in fact, guilty people, let them, in fact, be punished. But if there are falsely accused people, let the false accusers be punished. There has to be justice on all sides of this issue.
So my recon in this case is that the grand jury transcript is not going to provide much information because it's kind of lasered in on very specific crimes and not generally. My recon is also that the Justice Department files is not going to be particularly revealing either. I know from what I'm told is that Trump's name is mentioned more than a few times, nothing untoward there.
That's right.
It seems to me that the real information may come from the various civil cases that were filed against Epstein and Maxwell. You have been privy to a lot of those files. That's my understanding. Am I right?
You're right that that's where the information would be, and that 2 or 3 judges, federal judges, have been the ones who've sealed this information, and they've sealed it primarily in order to protect the victims. But we don't know how many of them are victims and how many of them are perpetrators. How many of them are mixed victims, perpetrators? That is, they may have been victimized and then they victimized others by falsely accusing them for money. This is a very complex picture, a very complex story. And the only way to get to the bottom of it is to reveal all the written information, and that will give you maybe 30 or 40% of the information. The rest will have to come from Ghislaine Maxwell. So make a deal with her. That's the way the criminal justice system generally operates. Let's make a deal. And as Abby Hoffman once said, the only justice in the criminal system takes place. The only justice in the halls of justice take place in the halls when you make deals. And I think it's time for a deal, to exchange information from Ghislaine Maxwell for allowing her to complete her sentence in a reasonable period of time.
Do you think she would play ball if all she gets is use immunity?
I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't been in contact with her for years. I have no idea. But
It just
I
doesn't
know,
seem like there's a lot in it for her if all she gets is we're not going to prosecute you for what you say.
and especially since she's already been prosecuted. Look, she has a very, very strong argument that she was covered by the immunity deal that was struck between the civil plaintiffs and Jeffrey Epstein. It included all co-conspirators, and she was allegedly a co-conspirator. So I think striking an appropriate deal with her is a win-win. It's a win for justice, and it's a win for total transparency because she'll tell the truth.
All right.
We so
Well,
appreciate
we'll
you
see.
coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And by the way, I haven't heard Abby Hoffman quoted in years, so that was a bonus.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thanks,
Sure.
Alan.